Have you ever heard of the hypogeum of Calciflini? It's a place that sounds like it came straight out of a fantasy novel. A mind-bending underground labyrinth that leaves archaeologists and scientists scratching their heads. Buried deep beneath the island of Malta. This prehistoric masterpiece is so perfectly constructed, so geometrically precise, that modern experts still can't figure out how our ancient ancestors built it over 5,000 years ago. Forget what you think you know about the Stone Age. This isn't about crude huts and simple tools. We're talking about a 3-level subterranean complex, carved directly out of solid limestone, using nothing but stone and bone implements. It's a testament to a level of architectural genius that seems almost impossible for its time. How did they achieve such perfection without metal tools, without modern machinery, without even a written language to pass down their plans? Today, we're venturing deep into the earth to uncover the secrets of this incredible structure, a place that challenges our understanding of human history and reveals a civilization far more advanced than we ever imagined. The story of its rediscovery is almost as amazing as the structure itself. In 1902, a construction worker accidentally broke through the ceiling of the topmost level while digging a cistern for a new housing development. At first, no one really understood what they had found. The workers tried to hide the discovery, fearing it would halt their project. But thankfully, the truth couldn't stay buried forever. A Jesuit priest and archaeologist named Father Manuel Magrai was eventually called in to investigate. As he began to clear away the debris, the true scale of the site started to emerge. It wasn't just a cave. It was a multi-layered, man-made complex of interconnected chambers, passages, and halls.
Father Magri dedicated himself to excavating the site, but tragically, he passed away before he could publish his findings.
And his original notes were lost to history. This early loss of information only adds to the mysteries surrounding the hypogeum. It's like finding a locked treasure chest without the key. We have this incredible structure, but the initial context and the first impressions of its discoverer are gone forever. So what exactly makes the hypogeum so special? First, let's talk about its sheer scale and complexity. It descends about 35 feet into the earth, covering an area of over 5,000 square feet. It consists of 3 distinct levels, each built in a different period, starting around 4000 BC. The oldest level is at the top, a series of natural caves that were artificially expanded. As you go deeper, the architecture becomes more sophisticated. The second level is where the real magic happens. Here, you'll find the most famous chambers, like the main chamber, the Holy of Holies, and the Oracle Room. These rooms are not just randomly carved holes. They are meticulously designed to mimic the architecture of above-ground megalithic temples found across Malta, complete with trilithian doorways, corbelled ceilings, and decorative features. Think about that for a second. They weren't just digging a shelter. They were recreating sacred spaces deep underground, carving solid rock to look like freestanding structures. This required an incredible amount of planning, skill, and sheer physical effort. And the precision is just baffling. The walls are smooth, the curves are perfect, and the geometric shapes are deliberate. In the so-called Oracle Room, there's a small, rectangular niche carved into the wall at head height. If a person with a deep voice speaks into this opening, the sound resonates and echoes throughout the entire complex. It creates a powerful, disorienting acoustic effect that would have been awe-inspiring and perhaps even terrifying for ancient visitors. Was this intentional? Almost certainly. It suggests a deep understanding of acoustics. They were manipulating sound to create a specific experience. Imagine ancient rituals taking place in these chambers, with chanting or music amplified and distorted, filling the darkness. The effect would have been overwhelming, a direct line to the divine or the spirit world. This wasn't just construction. It was sensory engineering, designed to impact the human mind and soul. One of the most visually stunning features of the hypogeum is the use of red ochre paintings. On the ceilings of some chambers, you'll find intricate patterns of spirals, swirls, and geometric shapes, all painted in a deep, earthy red. These are some of the only prehistoric paintings found in Malta. The spirals are particularly significant, as they are a common motif in Neolithic art across Europe, often associated with cycles of life, death, and rebirth. The fact that they appear here in a subterranean necropolis reinforces the idea that this was a place of immense spiritual importance. The paintings, combined with the architecture and acoustics, would have created a rich, symbolic environment. It was a world within a world, a sacred landscape hidden from the sun, where the lines between the living and the dead blurred. And that brings us to the primary purpose of the hypogeum. It was a burial ground, a collective tomb. During excavations, the remains of an estimated 7,000 individuals were discovered. This wasn't a cemetery for kings or elites. It seems to have been a community ossuary used over centuries. The bodies were not laid out in individual graves. Instead, after the flesh had decomposed elsewhere, the bones were gathered and placed within the chambers. This practice suggests a communal view of the afterlife, where ancestors were not forgotten but brought together in a single, sacred resting place. Among the thousands of remains, a few artifacts stood out, including personal ornaments and pottery. But perhaps the most famous find is the sleeping lady, a small, clay figurine of a portly woman lying on her side on a couch. Her features are serene, and she appears to be in a deep, peaceful sleep. Is she dreaming? Is she a priestess? In a trance? Or does she represent death as an eternal sleep? A peaceful transition, like everything else in the hypogeum. She offers more questions than answers. The biggest question of all remains: how did they do it? The hypogeum was carved from Globigerina limestone, which is relatively soft when first exposed but hardens over time. The builders would have used tools made of flint, chert, and obsidian for chipping away the rock, and antlers or shoulder blades of large animals as makeshift levers and picks. It would have been slow, back-breaking work, performed in near-total darkness, likely illuminated only by the flickering light of small lamps burning animal fat. Think of the coordination required. You have teams of people chipping away at the rock, others hauling away tons of rubble in baskets, and a master planner or architect overseeing the entire project, holding the grand design in their mind. There were no blueprints, no written instructions. This complex, three-dimensional design had to be transmitted from person to person, generation to generation. How did they maintain such geometric perfection and architectural consistency over hundreds, if not thousands, of years? Some theories propose they used sound and resonance to check the thickness of the rock or to find weak points. Others suggest they had a sophisticated, non-written system of measurement based on body parts, like cubits and handspans. But even with these ideas, the sheer perfection of the finished product is hard to explain. The doorways are perfectly framed. The ceilings are smoothly curved to create a false impression of a dome. And the walls are finished with a polish that you can still see today. It's a level of craftsmanship that rivals that of later civilizations with much more advanced technology. It forces us to reconsider the stereotype of Stone Age people as primitive. The builders of the hypogeum were patient, organized, and possessed a profound understanding of engineering, architecture, and perhaps even physics and acoustics. Today, visiting the hypogeum is a rare privilege. To preserve its fragile microclimate and the ancient paintings, UNESCO has designated it a World Heritage Site, and only a very limited number of visitors, just 80 people per day, are allowed inside. The temperature and humidity are strictly controlled to prevent the growth of algae and the deterioration of the limestone. This conservation effort means that the hypogeum will be protected for future generations to study and admire, but it also means that the sense of mystery is preserved. You can't just walk in off the street. You have to book your ticket months, sometimes even a year, in advance. This anticipation only adds to the mystique of the place. It remains a quiet, hallowed space, holding on to the secrets of a long-lost civilization. The hypogeum of Calsaflini is more than just an archaeological site. It's a time capsule, a sacred monument, and a profound mystery carved in stone. It reminds us that our ancient ancestors were not simple or unsophisticated. They were creative, intelligent, and capable of achieving incredible feats that we still struggle to comprehend. What other wonders from our distant past are still lying dormant, waiting to be discovered beneath our feet? Thank you for joining us on this journey into the Earth. What do you think is the biggest secret the hypogeum holds? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more dives into the mysteries of our world.